Hello there. Let's talk about some interesting weather things that we could be watching over the next 7, 8 days. One of them impacts the Northeast. The other one will probably have a big impact on Texas weather. Exactly how, we will just have to wait and see. Let's start off with this is the jet stream. We're looking at the European model. This was actually from last evening, so from Tuesday evening. And what I'm going to do is just kind of go through the jet stream, and then we're going to look at what the surface reflection is, what is actually predicted by this model. So what I'm going to do, I want to go through this jet stream really fast. Just watch how it moves, all right? You see how it meanders like a stream? This is 10 days worth of jet stream movement. I'm going backwards and I'm going forwards. Now, you see how every now and then you get these big dips. This is called a trough. This is where you get rising motion, and that leads to clouds and precipitation. So let's see some of those dips. All right, we have one of those. It's a little one here coming across the Texas Panhandle today. That's generating some snow. That quickly moves on to the east. Here comes another dip on Friday. Now, this one's not going to bring any precip to the area, but it is going to enhance our coolness. Friday's going to cool down a little bit, but it will be dry. Notice how that dip becomes a pretty big trough in the eastern United States by Saturday. You've got a surface low here that's off the East Coast, and that's going to produce probably a pretty significant snowstorm for coastal areas of the Northeast. Meanwhile, Texas over the weekend is kind of under a broad ridge of high pressure. Nice weather, dry weather, mild weather. Let's go into next week. You have a little area of low pressure that's kind of trapped under this ridge. This is actually on Sunday, so Sunday's warm. We may see temps in the upper 60s. As this little feature moves in on Monday, it is going to draw in air from the Gulf of Mexico. So we could expect more humid air coming in, and that may generate a few showers as this system comes on in. So that's Monday on into Tuesday. That just kind of gets absorbed by the flow. And then look what happens by Tuesday out to our west. Pretty big trough of low pressure. Again, this is next week. Big trough of low pressure. In this type of pattern, we're going to be on the mild side. And notice you're going to have a lot of lift on the eastern flank of this, and that's going to help generate clouds and precip. And then that upper level feature, that trough, swings through on Wednesday into Thursday. It may come out in a couple of different pieces, and that's important for Texas because it has the potential to produce precip, maybe even wintry precip as we go into next Wednesday and Thursday. You see that trough swinging through. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go back and look at the surface features for this time period. Now this is, we're back to early Wednesday, and that is today. So you see the snow that has been falling across Kansas. Watch the progression of it across the Texas Panhandle on into Oklahoma, and then it just kind of fizzles. This is midnight Wednesday night, and then you see how that falls apart. Okay, so not much happening on Friday. As we go into Friday morning, you'll see some precip well to the south. Remember, we have another trough swinging through. I think the air across Texas is too dry to support any rain, but there'll be some lift associated with that upper trough, and that could generate some showers in South Texas. Meanwhile, focus your attention out here, the eastern United States. Remember that big old trough that's coming in for the weekend? That is going to enhance the development of this surface low out over the Atlantic. And with time, now we're into Saturday morning, that is going to be producing probably a significant snowstorm across New England, coastal areas of the Northeast. I'm not sure how far inland it goes. The exact details are unsure, but this would be a wind producer, maybe wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour in New England, several inches of snow. So just something to keep in mind. This is a weather geek's dream to really kind of pay attention to what's going on there. Okay, so by Sunday, that moves on out. Remember, we have a big ridge on top of us over the weekend, just to kind of remind yourself. Okay, this is the upper level pattern, big ridge, little disturbance here, but the weekend is dry. Let's go back to this. Okay, we're still out to Sunday night. Here comes Monday. And there's that little area of precip that is associated with this little dip in the jet stream. Okay, and that may be just enough to generate a little bit of light rain. Again, we're going to be moistening up our atmosphere as winds come in off the Gulf of Mexico. So a few showers Monday, not out of the question. Now remember, as we get on into Tuesday and Wednesday, especially Wednesday, all of a sudden we see a lot of precip breaking out. Why is that? Well, that's because this big trough is approaching from the west. Remember, the eastern side of a trough, that's where you get your greatest rising motion. That's where you're going to get your greatest precip and cloud cover developing. At the surface, areas of an area of low pressure is developing. That's drawing in higher humidity air and kind of moistening the atmosphere and priming it for the likelihood of precip. At the same time, you've got this high building in from the north. So you've got cold air coming in from the north and this moist air coming from the south. You've got this upper level system coming in from the west, and it sets the stage for rain. And then perhaps now we're out to noon on Wednesday. Notice the mixed bag of precip here, southern sections of, or central sections of Missouri through central Oklahoma, northwest Texas, and then rain on the eastern side of it, snow, western Oklahoma, Texas Panhandle, back into Kansas. So that is one part of the storm system coming through. So that ejects off to the northeast. And then a second part, now this is midnight on Thursday, a second portion of that upper trough comes in, and that may generate an additional round of precip Wednesday night into Thursday morning. The European, this particular model, this particular, we call this the operational European, has mixed precip and even some wintry precip across North Texas into Thursday morning. This is more than a week away, so this will likely change, but you can see how that progresses on to the east. So let's do this. I want to introduce you to what's called ensembles. All right, that's where they take the European model and then they divide it into 50 smaller models, changing little equations in each model just to see, what if we change this? What if we change that? Then they look at all those individual 50 models on how they handle this situation, and they take the mean, okay? And so that's what we're going to look at now. Give me a second to call this up. I'm going to get you back over here so you can see. We're going to look at what's called a meteogram, okay? And I'm going to go to the European ensembles, and we're going to look at, got to call up the right date here, hang with me. I'm going to go back to the 0Z, and we're going to look at 24-hour snow. And okay, so this is kind of a funky thing to understand what it is. Notice we've got all 50 of those little individual ensembles, all right? It's like the European is broken into 50 separate models. And we're out to Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon. And what we're looking at is snow. And each of these models, not all of them, but where you see the little gray boxes represents this particular ensemble member predicting snow. And out of 50, there's about 25 of them that show we could see at least some light snow coming in here, or wintry precip next Thursday at some point. One of the ensembles has over 4 inches. Do I believe that? No, not right now. Not right now, but it is something to watch. It is something to certainly, keep a weather geek's attention on how this is all going to pan out. So I know it's a little detailed, probably hard to understand, but you'll pick this stuff up as you go. I've been doing it for 35 years almost, so it's a little bit more natural for me, but something to keep an eye out as we go later in the week. All right, thanks for watching. Hope to see you on TV sometime real soon.